Hey everybody, Aaron here. Welcome back to another First Impressions. Today we look at the show known as ACCA 13 Territory Inspection Department, or ACCA 13. Now, I'll tell you guys and girls right now, I've watched 3 episodes of course for you guys, so this way you can get my first impressions of the show, obviously. And I am right now struck between liking the show and hating the show at the same time. Now, why is that? Well, I'll get into that obviously, but let me give you the summary of so you understand what the hell's going on in the show in the first place. So, the King of Doa is a future organization, like a future state kingdom that's divided into 13 sections, 13 states as they call it, and they are governed by ACCA or ACCA, and their job is to be like the eyes and the ears for the people. They go around making sure there's no corruption. They make sure that everything's peaceful because right now the society of Doha has been very peaceful. Now, in the beginning of the story, Jean, who works as one of the ACCA members, actually is told that they're going to lose their jobs because everything's been so peaceful. You know, the cops have everything managed by doing what their job is supposed to be, and for the most part, there's only like 1 or 2 little incidents of crime, but there's nothing that's really going on internally that needs their attention. Now, Gene ends up discovering, however, that one of the 13 states is actually doing bad illegal activities using ACCA abilities and stuff like that. And what he does is he calls them out on it and gets labeled as this hero essentially. Like now he's become this big shot hero of the group and actually saves everyone's jobs and saves the organization as a whole. But he also causes himself to be part of this coup d'etat of sorts where now people are trying to abuse his status as hero and use it for other means in terms of like, oh, we're important because we have this guy working with us, or we're important because hey, that guy is kind of doing something that might be shady. We don't know exactly. He says he saved everyone, but did he really? That's what they're trying to get at. They're trying to use him for very very different means and different end goals. Now, that is the beauty in the I think curse of the story is that it's interesting, but I also don't really find myself too like invest in the story. Like it's very unique, I'll say the least, but it also at the same time really doesn't hit any notes where I'm like, oh, okay, I can't wait till next week's episode. More so, I watched all 3 episodes and it kind of was like falling asleep during some parts of it. To be honest with you, I was wide awake. I understood everything that was going on. Don't get me wrong, it's not like that, but I wasn't enjoying every episode to be honest. Now, animation wise, I'm also a little bit disappointed because this is done by Madhouse. And in my head, Madhouse has a very unique art style. It's very mature themed, it has some very strong character designs. ACCA 13 doesn't have those. It's not very mature in the sense of like you get mature characters, but in terms of the art style and the animation, it's not that great to be honest. It's very colorful. The characters are very unique in the way they look, but I don't like the way they are, to say the least, to be honest with you. That's going to be, of course, a personal thing. I mean, I'm sure people like ACCA for what it looks like and how vibrant it is, and the character models being very different than your usual cup of tea characters. But I really don't dig the characters, to be honest. Now, the positive of the show, though, is the music. Oh my god. I'll tell you right now, guys and girls, I listened to the opening of the show like 1,000 times already, and I just started the show yesterday night. I cannot stop listening to the opening. It is so amazing. It is honestly probably one of the best openings I've heard in a while. That's to say the least. I love the opening for it. I can think of it in my head and over again, and want to hear it over and over and over. I put YouTube on auto loop yesterday just to keep hearing the song, and I was doing other stuff while doing it. It's a great song. Ending song's not that bad either, but it's not as good as the opening. But the music that's actually in the show itself, the OST, is actually really good. It has some great epic sounds. It really fits the mood, and it's very popish and jazz filled at times. It really knows when to hit a certain tone for the story, and I think that really helps the story at many times because it makes you invested at times in the characters and the concepts of what's going on the screen. But overall, right now, my thoughts are very simple with this show. I would say wait until the show ends to kind of see if you would like this type of show. Maybe look at bigger reviews for it and maybe figure out for yourself what it's worth watching or not. Because to me, right now, like I said, the positives are that it's got a very good soundtrack, it's got some interesting characters, and it's also got a very interesting, unique story. But the negatives are this is a very narrative driven story. Animation and characters also can be turnoffs to certain people. And, overall, I don't really care like even though the story is unique and interesting, at the same time, it's not really grabbing me as a story should. So it's like one of those things that's like, oh, if you ever looked at a marble and you see the marble and you look at it, it's like that's a weird shaped marble. I don't really want it, but it's interesting to look at. That's kind of what ACCA reminds me of. It's one of those things that you want to stare at it because it's different, but at the same time, you don't really want to keep staring at it for too long. Now, I'll say right now, my favorite moment of the show so far, though, honestly, is Gene as a character. Like Gene's character, he's the main dude, of course, of the show, and I really dig how he's so nonchalant about stuff. He just goes about doing his job, and his reactions at times are pretty funny. Like, as he tries to act very mature, but you can see that he also has a little bit of immaturity to him. There was one scene in like episode 3 where he's like on a date. He thinks it's on a date, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm so glad I never quit this job." You know, he ends up with like this beautiful looking girl that's actually like the head up of one of the ACCA groups, and then he finds out it's not really a date. It's actually like a business meeting. He's like, "Oh," he looks like he's so depressed and sad. You feel bad for the dude. Another character that I really like too is Nino, who's his best friend, who you find out a lot about his character as the time progresses. I'll say right now, he's going to be an interesting character to say the least. So you know the two main characters of the show I'm really invested in. I really want to see where they go from there. But honestly, I would recommend guys and girls to wait for the show to finish airing to see more reviews for it to kind of get your grasp of what you think of the show and see if maybe it's going to be your cup of tea. Anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Have a great, blessed day, everyone. I probably will be reviewing a few more shows today. I think I have Non-Baka and Handshakers I have to review, so I got those to look forward to if you want to watch those. And for the most part, that's it. So later, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.